Formerly deaf people, what objects did you expect to make noise? My friend got his hearing at age 6. He swears to this day that he thought flowers would make some sort of noise, and that's what attracted bees. I honestly thought the sun would make sounds. Your like and subscription will really help my channel. Well, after the cochlear implant, I started hearing a lot of things that I never knew existed. But here are a few things I thought would make a noise. I expected the light bulbs to hiss or flickering sound when you turn them on. I was so disappointed. I thought you could hear your eyes close. Blink. But there is no sound when you close your eyelids. No whoosh. You know how wind makes a noise going through trees? I thought it would make more noises going through hair. I had a child friend that gained hearing, and she didn't realize you could control the volume of your voice. So when I whispered to her, she said, "Hang on, I think I need to adjust my hearing aid." At first, I just thought, oh, it mustn't be working, until I realized what was going on. She whispered to me for about 2 weeks solid just to practice. My girlfriend is not deaf, but she is hard of hearing, which for her means that she can't hear high-frequency sounds. She recently got hearing aids that amplify the frequencies she can't hear, and was shocked to find out that birds and crickets chirp, to the point that she thought the birds were trying to attack her, and was horrified that we were surrounded by millions of bugs when I explained what the crickets were. My dad's lifelong best friend was born with hearing, but lost it before age 2 due to some health issues, went his entire childhood deaf, and in his 20s finally got a hearing aid. At the time, he and his wife were living in the downtown of a large city. He had it about 2 weeks before he threw it out, saying everything was too loud. He hated the noise and sound, that things were more peaceful without it. 15 years later, he moved out into the country. He refused to wear a hearing aid and kept refusing for the next 10 years. Finally, his wife convinced him to give it a try, and his mind was blown. He couldn't believe how quiet everything was and how much he enjoyed hearing. He finally explained that he thought the noise of the traffic downtown was the wind, and that it sounded like that everywhere, all the time. So, for 25 years, he thought wind sounded like the hundreds of cars driving by. My 3-year-old son is deaf, and we just had a visit this morning from his teacher, who is also deaf herself. She recently had cochlear implants fitted, and while we were talking, she said, "I'm sorry, I can't concentrate. I can hear a horrible constant noise. It's not stopped the whole time I've been here." Turned out it was the rain on my conservatory roof. My cousin was born deaf and went through an operation to recover part of his hearing when he was 12. His family had a bunny, Tupu. Of course, he had learned about cows mooing, cats meowing, etc. before he had his surgery. He was very shocked when he came home and greeted his bunny that it made no sound. It took the longest time for him to understand that bunnies are pretty quiet animals in general. My old roommate in New York City got implants at 25. He was shocked that the radiators in the house didn't make noise. He could feel them and was absolutely sure, given their shaking and vibrating from time to time, that they were going to be quite noisy. My dad was born with severe hearing loss, but it wasn't detected until he was 50. His parents just thought he was ignorant if he didn't answer them. It's quite sad, actually. His parents definitely failed him. He is also dyslexic, and it's affected every part of his life and self-worth, etc. My mom told him he needed a hearing test because the TV was starting to deafen her. He finally gets hearing aids, and the first day he sits down to eat a packet of crisps, he absolutely flips out. We had to explain you can hear the crunching of food, etc., and some foods are louder than others, etc. I was born with tons of fluid in my ears and only had very slight hearing at best. When I was 6 months old, I had a surgery that put tubes in my ears to drain the fluid. My mom says when I came home from surgery, I went to my toy box and shook every toy in it to see what sounds they made. Honestly, it wasn't that serious, but did lead to some auditory processing issues, and I had to see a speech therapist until I was 7. Crazy what a difference 6 months of hearing makes that early on. New video every day. Your like and subscription will really help my channel.